Okay, here we go. 2, 3, 4. Okay, well, I incorporated a lot more than just one position there at the end, and I started to play around a little bit more. But for you guys and girls, I always say guys, but I know there's girls out there playing along too, so I don't mean to be exclusive there. I want you to practice the basic one pattern exercise for a while. So let's give you a chance to do that now, okay? So I'm just gonna play rhythm for you, and you're gonna keep your hands in those in one position here in minor, in one position in major, and play along. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, keep playing with us. Okay, now we're getting ready for major. Here we go. Now you're in A major in that same position. Okay, you're still in A major. All right, now I want you to check something out when you're playing. You don't have to play a lot of notes to let your ear help you find the right notes for the progression, okay? So certain notes over the progression have a lot more strength over the chords. So the C natural of the A minor chord is a real strong note on the A minor because it's the minor third of the chord, okay? And it also works really nicely on the F chord because it's the fifth of the chord, right? So you don't really even have to change it. So that would be a safe note for a lot of your playing right there at the beginning of the A minor key. Right? You can just start off with a little theme like that. Listen to how that would sound. 3, 4. Right? So it's real simple stuff like that that is very effective. It doesn't have to be a million notes. Okay? So I want you to try to do stuff like that. Try to find one note that will hang over a lot of the chords you can build phrases around. Okay, now when we go to major, I want you to take a look at your neck there and examine from minor which notes are changing at first, okay? Well, you can see right away that this note is not going to be part of the major scale anymore. It's going to be this note. So this, you really want to make sure that you establish, if you want to establish the sound of major strongly, you got to play this C sharp instead of the C natural, okay? Likewise, the F natural from the minor key becomes F sharp, for the major key. And then the G natural for the minor key becomes G sharp. So basically you have three changes from major to minor. You have these three going to these three. Okay? Now that means that the other four notes stay the same. So that's also kind of an interesting concept. You can stay on a lot of the notes between major and minor because the A, the root, the second, the B, the fourth, the D, and the fifth, the E, remain the same. So really, there's a lot more notes that stay the same than change, or not quite 50-50. But that's okay. Now let's see how we can play the notes that stay the same, let's say for the first time, between the A minor and A major, just to show you what that would sound like. 3, 4. I didn't change at all. I kept on the common notes between A minor and A major. Now, it worked. It didn't give me a lot of information about the major key coming in after the minor, but it still sounded like it worked. Okay, now, for an alternate way of playing, I'm going to emphasize the C sharp, the F sharp, and the G sharp to make that more strongly major when the major key comes in, so you can really hear it. Okay, here we go. 3, 4. Okay, so you can hear both techniques work as an improvising device, really defining the notes that change from one key to the next, or focusing on the notes that overlap between the two keys and making those work. Okay, so these are kind of advanced concepts on some level if you've just been working on the scales and you're just trying to get these down, but it's not too soon to understand what's really going on, okay? So I want you to think about that when you're practicing these scales and take a look at your hands when you're playing. I think that'll help out a lot. Okay, so we've been talking mostly around pattern 4 in major and minor, but I've also written the pattern right next to pattern 4, which would be pattern 3, and I've also written that in major and minor as well. So I want you to do the same concept and the same study on an adjacent pattern of the major and the minor key. So let's make sure that we understand what we're doing here. We've got the minor key, where is it? Minor key right here would be from this root. And that would be based off these roots right here. Okay, we also know that intuitively that's also just C major, but we call it A minor here. Okay, and then of course we also have A major that exists right inside of it. Okay, so that makes, having two patterns next to each other give you melodic freedom to move around a little bit, incorporate slides and things like that. So let's see what would happen if I had two patterns next to each other to mess around with. I'm going to start on minor here, down here. 3, 4. get around. Okay, so I think you get the idea. Let's, for this next lesson, focus on this pattern going to this pattern and this pattern going to this pattern. And I think that'll give you enough room to really negotiate over this progression right here and make melodies with it and really work on these two patterns. Okay, so let's focus on that for the next lesson. And thanks for tuning in.